everybody, I'm back, yay! So let's just do a quick update video. How about that? And there's not going to be a lot of tech talk in this. We're just going to tell you about my life, where I'm at right now, and all that exciting shit. So, for those of you unaware, my wife and I up and left Toronto and moved 5,000 fucking kilometers away to beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. And I think I want to take some time today to tell you exactly why. First, let's talk about why we wanted to leave Toronto. Without being rude and offending my former neighbors, my former my home, the place where I was born and raised, Toronto kind of sucks. Like, it's just gotten to be so unbearably crowded. The transit system, I mean, the city council is just constantly dragging their feet on improvements. There are always disagreements and new governments, and then money is there, but then isn't there. Plans are approved, but then scrapped. The Ford brothers happened. It's just been a kind of a mess of 20 years, basically. And as a result, Toronto's gotten more crowded. There's been no transit and infrastructure development. The Greenbelt Initiative has caused the city to re-centralize. It just ended up becoming a basic like hodgepodge of bad circumstances that has made living in that city very unbearable for a couple of introverts like my wife and I. So we knew we had to move. Now, why we decided on Victoria in particular? Well, let's talk about that, because that's a lot more positive and a lot more exciting to discuss. Victoria is home to what is probably one of the most climatologically unique parts of the country, if not the world. For those of you unaware, the West Coast has a reputation, especially in the northern half of the continent, for having mild winters, relatively mild summers, and as I picked my nose, also a lot of rain. The nice thing about Victoria, though, is that it is unique among northern West Coast cities in that it does not get a lot of rain. In fact, the annual precipitation for here in Victoria proper is significantly less annually than my old native Toronto. And it didn't really rain a ton out there either. Why, you ask? Why does this unique paradise-like place exist? And how come I didn't know about it? The West Coast, it does have a reputation for being wet because of something called the Rainshadow. You see, when you have large mountain masses in the way of air systems, what tends to happen is the air approaches that mountain, it elevates, it rises, it cools, it condenses, forms rain clouds, and then it just pisses rain all over the mountain. Now, because of the way mountains are shaped, the rain usually falls on one side of the mountain. And in the western part of this continent, on the west side of the Western Cordillera, that happens to be on the West Coast. So the northwesterly winds come in, they hit those mountains, and then Vancouver and Seattle and Portland to a lesser extent get pissed on. Why is Victoria so dry then? Well, for one, we're far enough away from the coastal range that we don't get pissed on by that barrier. But we also have mountain ranges immediately to the west, northwest, and to the south. The Olympic Mountains in Washington State guard us from southern winds when they do happen, and the Vancouver Island Range protect us largely from northwesterlies. So in short, we're on the dry side of one smaller rain shadow, but far enough away from the wet side of another bigger one. So Vancouver, Seattle, they get all the rain, we get very little. In fact, Victoria is the driest summer city of its size in Canada. There is no city, including Regina and Saskatoon and all the prairie cities, that are drier than Victoria in the summertime. The grass around here, come fucking July, is just brown and dead because if you don't water it, it dies. And most of all, because of the ocean, for the most part, we are temperature regulated. So we have nice mild summers where it doesn't get too blisteringly hot like it does in Toronto, where your balls are sticking to the side of your leg. And we have warm winters where it's about, 8 or 9 degrees during the daytime. Pretty much doesn't snow, at least not to any significant degree to where it sticks on the ground. And it's just generally pretty lovely all year long. And consistency is key as well. Not only are the monthly averages attractive, it's pretty much like that predictably from day to day. There's really not a lot of variance. It's pretty much just like constant misty rain in the winter months from November to like February-ish with daytime highs of about 8 or 9 degrees. And then summertime is like it is today, 23 degrees Celsius and fucking beautiful. So with that and the size of the city and the pace of life being slower and the fact that my wife got her dream job, how the hell could we not move. Like, my God, this is something I would recommend to everybody. Now that the personal update's out of the way and I've given you guys a little bit of a geography lesson, what does it mean for the future of this burgeoning channel that I do plan to reinvest a lot of my time in? We're gonna find out, because obviously, as I noisily adjust my body in this chair, the access to PC components that I used to have is no longer there. 6.5 million people in the GTA makes for a large market. It's a lot of people that you can pick hardware from. Problem is, move to a smaller city, you lose a lot of that. There's 370,000 people in the greater Victoria area, and I've got to find a way to make do with that. I also have expressed interest in the past in diversifying my channel, and I intend to do that as well. For the next video, anyhow, we're going to stick with the PC stuff, and I'm going to try to go shopping, and we're going to see just how difficult it's become moving from place to place. So stay tuned, and my dogs are going nuts, so I'm going to go tend to them, and I'll see you soon.